Welcome students. So yesterday we have started the chapter C++ and yesterday we have seen what is in by C++. Now today we are going to see the next article, that is features of object oriented programming. Features of object oriented programming. Now, what are the features of object oriented programming? Before that, let us revise once again what is in by object oriented programming, and to see what exactly mean by object oriented programming, we should once again revise the three methods of writing the program which yesterday we have seen. So before you see the features of the object oriented programming, once again we will revise within a 5 minutes what we have seen yesterday. That is, C++ is a programming language. C++ is a programming language. And before we know that what is that programming, we should know what is program. What is program? So program, that is set of instruction. Various times we have seen this definition. Program, that is set of instruction. C++ is a programming language. But before programming, what is in by programming? We should know what is program. Program, that is set of instructions. But set of instructions for what? Set of instructions, such set of instructions which can be given to computer in order to solve the problem. So whenever there is a problem, we solve it manually. But if the same problem is to be solved by the computer, and being a computer is a machine, we must instruct it, because computer is not a naturally talented like us. So we must instruct. Computer simply will follow the instructions and our problem will be solved. So program, that is set of instructions. Now this set of instructions we must return in the form of a such language that computer can understand. That is called as machine language. That is called as machine language. Why it is called as a machine language? And the program written with that language, that is called as machine level program. Machine level program. Machine level program. It means that a such program, that is such set of instructions where all the instructions are in the form of 1 and 0. But we know that writing such type of program is quite difficult, and hence there emerge the languages. That is called as programming language. Now, what the programming language gives us? Programming language gives us keywords and reserved words. So these keywords and reserved words look like English words, and by using that keywords we can write down a set of instructions, that is program. By using the keywords we can write a program. Since program is a set of instructions, what is program? Program, that is set of instructions. We know that. Set of instructions. But set of instructions, if instructions are in the form of 1 and 0, that is machine level program. Is set of instructions, if instructions are keyword, then it is high level program. High level. So every programming language provides keywords. That's why any program or program written in any programming language is high level program. Now, once again we will see C++ is a programming language. Before we know programming language, we must know what is meant by program. What is program? Program that is set of instructions. Instruction can be of two types. That is instructions in the form of 1 and 0. Instructions in the form of keywords. So you can use the 1 and 0 instructions to create the set of instruction, or you can use the keywords to create the set of instruction. Both are the program, but the program written by using 1 and 0 instruction, that is machine level program, and program written by using keywords instruction, that is high level program. And who provide these keywords? These keywords are provided by the language that is called as programming language. Have you got it? Now similarly, C++ is a programming language. But there are various types of programming languages. What are the features of, what is the speciality of C++? Speciality of C++ is it is an object-oriented programming language. It is an object-oriented programming language. In short, it is called as OOPS. Object-oriented programming language. So, whenever a question is asked, what is C++? Then your obvious answer will be C++ is a programming language. Then a question can be asked. There are several programming languages. Not only the C++, lot of programming languages are there. Then what is the speciality of C++? The speciality of C++, it is an object-oriented programming language. Thus, one more question can be asked. What is it by object-oriented programming language? So for that, we have to see the styles, methods of writing the program. So object-oriented programming. Now, once again, I will tell you, in oral examination, first question will be asked, what is C++? Your answer will be C++ is the programming language. Next question will be asked, what is speciality of C++? Then you will give the answer, C++ is an object-oriented programming language. Then obviously question will be asked, what is in by object-oriented programming language? For that, we have to see the three styles, methods, traditions of writing the program. Yesterday we have seen it. Just once again we are revising. So, structured programming language. In structured programming language, programmer has to write the program. Programmer has to write the program in the single format. We know that program that is set of instructions. It's okay. Thousands of times we have seen program that is set of instructions. But now suppose this is the set of instructions. So writing the only one consolidated program, that is called as a structured program. Only one program is there. Thousands of instructions are there. Only one program is there. Yesterday we have seen it is time consuming for programmer. It is time consuming for translator to translate because all these are the keywords, look like English words. So time consuming for programmer, time consuming for translator, time consuming for computer. Instead of that, a new style emerged that was called as, instead of writing only one single consolidated program, divide the program into several small programs. Every such small program is called as function. So function is also a program, no doubt, but function is a small program. So this was the program and these are the small programs. That is called as a function. Now consider this is function f1 parenthesis, function f2 parenthesis, f3 parenthesis, f4 parenthesis, f5. So all these called as the function. Function that is small program. Function is also a program but small program. Now only one single large program was divided into number of small program. Every such small program is called as function, and we have divided our program into 5 small programs that was F1, F2, F3, F4 and F5. So what happened here? Instead of writing only one program, there are a number of small programs, and we can write the small programs in short period of time. A compiler can translate it in short period of time, and computer can also execute in short period of time. But here also there is a drawback, that is data is not secure. This is the function f1. We know that how to write the function. Suppose y is equal to f of x. Then only we write that this is called a function. So f is the function, x is the data given to that function, and y is its output, yield, outcome we can see. Similarly, this is the function f1, f2, f3, f4. So lot of functions are there, but every function is having its own data, as we have seen y is equal to f of x. So x was the data to the function f, and y was the output. Similarly, suppose here data is x, or suppose data is a, data is b, data is c, data is d, data is e. Now look at this. Here a, b, c, d, e are the data, whereas f1, f2, f3, f4, f5 are the functions. This is called a function oriented programming. Here also the drawback what we have seen, that data A can be processed by a function f2, or data B can be processed by f1. It means data is not secure, and hence third type of programming style was emerged, that was called as a function oriented, object oriented programming, in which data and functions are binded together. Data and functions are binded together. Data and functions are binded together. Like this. Now you see, there are the 5 bindings. There are the 5 capsules. In this binding, in this capsule, in this tire, data A, function F1, data B, function F2, function that is program but small program. Data C, function F3, data D, function F4, data E, function F5. And what happens? This is called as object. Now, suppose we say object A, object B, object C, object D, object D, object E. Now, data of an object, this is the object. Object is capsule, object is binding, object is tie-up. Data of an object cannot be accessed by function of another object. Only F1 can access the data A, only F2 can access the data B, only F3 can access the data C. F1, F2, F3 are the functions. Function that is small program. So data can be accessed by function of same object, and hence data is secure. So what is the most striking feature of such type of programming? That is, data is secure. So once again we will revise the question. What is C++? It is programming language. What is in a program? Program that is set of instructions. What is programming language? Programming language provides us keywords which look like English words. By using that keywords we can write down the program. But what is the feature? What is the speciality of C++? It is an object oriented programming language. And what is in the object oriented programming language? In an object oriented programming, object is basic entity. So object is important. Unless until there is object, you can't say this is the object oriented programming. So in an object oriented programming, object is basic entity, and object is nothing but a capsule, a binding, a tie-up of data and function. So data of an object can be accessed by the function of same object. Data of an object cannot be accessed by another function who do not belong to that object. So this is the object oriented programming, and yesterday up to this we have completed. Now today what we are going to see, object, object and object. In an object-oriented programming, object is an important entity, basic entity. But what is object? That definition we have seen. What is object? What is object? What is in by object? What is in by object? Now, object is a capsule. Object is a binding of what? Of data and function. This is called an object. So if a question is asked, what is in by object? You can say object is a binding. Object is a binding. Binding of what? Binding of only two things, two ingredients. No third ingredient is there in an object. Object is binding of data and function. Data and function. Function is a small program. Data over which a processing can be done by this function. These are tied together, binded together. That is called as object. So what is object? What is object? Object is binding. Object is capsule. Object is type of what? Data and function. So function, a program, small program. Data over which processing can be done by that function. That is object. Now you can ask the question, what the data is, how many datas are there, and what the function is. Now let data is R, and suppose function is area. So R is the data, area is the function. Why this parenthesis is given? You know, this indicates this is the function. Parenthesis, opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. This indicates it is the function, and function is a small program. So you can ask the question, if it is the program, no doubt it is a small program. But if it is the program, then where that set of instructions is, it is enclosed in opening and closing curly bracket. And what the function is doing? Area is equal to R into 3.14 into R into R. Now you see, data R, area is the function. What the area function is doing? Area function is doing processing 3.14 into R, and it is calculated. It is stored in A. So that's why A is also data of same object. Now you see, data R is processed by function area, and whatever the outcome that is available in A. So this is the object. But question arises, how to create the object? No doubt. Data is R, data is A, function is area function is calculating processing the R, and outcome is available in A. So data of this object is processed by only function of the same object. No outside function can access. Any outside function cannot access the R or A. Only the function of same function, that is small program. Once again I am revising. Function is nothing but a program, but small program. Now question arises, how this capsule is formed, how this is created. So you will got it in last periods we have seen. So object is a capsule, object is binding, object is tie of data and function. But how to bind, how to make the capsule, how to tie up the data and function closely together. So this is done by a class. So question arises, what is class? Again we are going to see, again we are going to revise. Let us revise. What is class? What is C++? C++ is a programming language. What is the speciality of C++? It is an object-oriented programming language. What is in my object-oriented programming language? In an object-oriented programming language, object is basic entity, object is important entity. What is object? Object is binding, object is capsule, object is tie-up of data and functions. So data and functions are tied together, that is called as object. But as we have seen recently, there was two data, that was R and A, and there was the function area, and the task of the area was to calculate, to process on R, and outcome is given in A. So how it is formed, how it is created, how this object is formed. To form an object, we must specify what the data you want. We want R and A. Okay. What the function you want? You will say we want one function called area. Say area. Okay. What the function will do? Function will process on R and it will give the output in A. So entire these things that we have to specify. What you are specifying? What you are specifying? You are specifying data. You are specifying function. How you are specifying data? You want the data R. How you are specifying function? You are specifying function that we want a function, say area. What the area will do? That also you are saying that area function will process on data called R, that is 3.14 into R, outcome will be A. So entire thing you are specifying. It means you are simply specifying data, what the data you are required in that object and what the function. So this is done by class. Thus class is a way to specify what? Data and function. What is class? Class is a way to specify data and functions. Class is a way to specify data and function. It means somewhere you have to specify. There must be the place where we can specify. There must be we can say a method to specify. That is class. So what is class? Class is a way of what? Class is a way to specify what? Data and functions. And the data and functions, once you specify, according to that, object will be created. So you can say that first of all there is a class, then there is object. Because class is a way to specify data and functions. Class is a way to specify data and function. So what the data you specify? In our program we had specified RA. What the function we had specified? Function was area. So according to our specification, there will be object. That's why object is also known as a runtime entity. Runtime entity. Why it is called as a runtime entity? Object is a runtime entity. Why it is called as a runtime entity? Because first there is a class in which we specify data and function, what the data is required, what the function will be having the name, what the function will do on that R, what will be the outcome. So entire thing you have specified, and according to your specification you will get the object. Thus object is called as a runtime entity because according to your specification you have got. Suppose you say that we don't want the R and A, instead of that we want XYZ. It's okay. If you specify we want the function and the name of function will be sum, no problem. You can specify. It is up to you that how you specify the data and functions. So data and functions you have specified. Sum is the function, XYZ is the data. What the function is doing? Function is doing z is equal to x plus y. No problem. Now you will get the object according to that. You will get the capsule according to your specification. Now this time object will be like this. X, y, z, and it is a function sum. So that object is formed. Object is created. How? According to your specification. Your specification was data. Your specification of data was XYZ. Your specification of function was sum. According to that, object is formed, and hence object is known as a runtime entity, because first you specify and then you will get the object. And where the object is used, that is object-oriented programming. So today in this class we have seen two things, that is object-oriented programming, in which we have seen two things, that is object and class. So object, that is the capsule of data and function. But how the object is created, you have to specify. And where to specify, you have to specify in the class. And hence, class is the way to specify data and functions together. According to your specification, you will get the object. So these are the two important concepts. So I think you have got the object and class. What exactly mean by object and class? So if you didn't got, if you are having any problem, if you are having any queries, you can ask. So I think tomorrow we will see remaining features of object-oriented programming as yesterday we have seen. So today I think you have got at least object and class. So today we will stop. Thank you.